Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. No. Please, no applause. Throw money. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind. We are in Daytona
morning.
Beach. Oh, there's Jenny. There's the doctor in the house. Good morning, Dr. Jenny.
Good morning.
Well, here we are once again in Daytona Beach, Florida. Doing our thing, living life, loving life, creating awesome things.
Yeah, we are in an amazing spot at the, what's it called? RV. What's this place called?
International RV Park.
Yeah. If you're looking for a beautiful, quiet, peaceful place to put your unit or your tent.
Yeah.
This is a really amazing place.
It really is.
It's got a couple little man-made lakes, forestry out behind it. You get to see lots of animal life. And it's very quiet and very peaceful.
It is. And there's
lots
wildlife.
of nature.
Yeah, wildlife. We got a big eagle that we get to look at every day.
Yeah, I named him Biff.
You nicknamed him Biff.
Yeah.
He's big.
He's huge.
I guess people don't really realize objects in the mirror may be bigger than they seem.
Yeah, there's no mirror.
Yeah. Well, there is across the lake because it reflects it onto him. That's how I see him the first time. That's the reflection in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, he's big and beautiful, man.
He's very majestic.
He is very majestic. But in my comic book life in my head, he's like this bodybuilder bird that's big and buff. And I imagine him having like an Italian accent. So I named him Biff.
Oh, okay. But it kind of brings me to the topic, actually. It's kind of a good little starter.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, we are. Is perception of oneself. Do you think Biff sees himself as this big majestic?
Never really thought about it, actually.
And so
I think that's where I'm probably jealous with nature, is that do they get tangled up in the quandaries of self-evaluation from a mental or physical standpoint, or do they just kind of live life and they just maintain their natural state of being? And
it's about self-perception for me today, and perceiving, like, for example, the journey we're on right now, and we're developing these things and doing things that I had viewed myself as, wow, I don't know if I can do this, and because of a perception.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about that before in our coffee talks.
Yeah. And
can an old dog learn new tricks kind of thing?
Yeah. But here's the thing with it is being humble enough in it to be open to learn. That was my thing. Is my perception of me was, I'm 52, been doing.
Oh my God, you're what?
Yeah, you're older than me, so easy.
I don't even keep up with that. I don't even know how old I am.
I'm 52 years old, and according to society is I don't know that an old dog can learn new tricks. And so getting over the hump and how you perceive yourself, for me, is where my thought process was this morning. Can I do and learn new things at my age? And the reality is, yes. But getting through the beliefs behind the perception.
Yeah, you should read my latest article.
How is it about this?
Yeah, it's about aging. and how we adopt the beliefs of the societal perspective of the chronological aging process so that we can easier make sense of the death and dying concept.
Yeah.
So therefore, our body listens to us because we're the God essence of our own universe, which is the body. And so your cells, molecules, and atoms listen to the frequency of that. And so if you believe that you can age based on society's teaching you that with each birthday you're a year older, and so you must deteriorate and act this way and act that way at certain ages.
Yeah, no, you're right. And a lot of people think, and this is another myth out there, that there's something to be said for the length of time that people lived prior to the calendar being invented. In the Bible, it talks about people living for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Egyptian culture, there's stories of people living 700-800 years. Yeah. And the Aztecs, the Aztecs the same way. There's historical documentation of the oldest king being 312.
Right.
Or the oldest ruler. I don't know. I think they called him a king, but that was before the calendar was invented.
I see.
And so the societal top beliefs based upon the age and a calendar that's been created. What does it do to you and your thought process in aging?
Right.
And the beliefs that are behind that, because we are, we have a birthday party every year, so we're a year older. And in the spiritual world, in the spiritual life, there is no calendar, there is no clock, there is, none of that really exists. So,
right, it's all an illusion. That's all an illusion.
I agree. And if people were to look at it differently, from a perspective of, let me back up. My challenges within it were this. I have been societally taught that when you get to our age, I remember when I thought 40 was old, I used to make fun of my dad for being 40. And here I am, I'm 52, and I don't feel 52, what I thought 52 would feel like.
Right, yeah.
We have a friend of ours that they're going on a trip to Italy. She's 70s, in her 70s, I don't know, late 70s.
Yeah.
And she's talking about going on a Segway tour. Right. Never rode one in her life.
Yeah, exactly.
And, we were talking about this just yesterday. And how cool is it that you don't realize your age?
Right. I mean,
because age really doesn't exist. It's a thought.
And it doesn't really matter.
Right. And it doesn't matter.
I mean, the rabbit hole part of it is that you didn't come here to get it done. Mm-hmm. You never get it done. You're not finished. If you choose to, you'll come back here and experience humanness in a different way or same way, different content.
Yeah.
Like you don't get it done. Death is not the end all be all because death doesn't exist. You change form. And that was part of what my article is about, because society has such a hard time with the death and dying process of young versus old. The aging process, one of the reasons it was constructed, I think, was to help ease us through death and dying of the physical body.
Yeah.
Because you'll hear people say, oh, she passed away. She was 90. She lived a long, full life. And she's
in a better place.
She's in such pain and her body had deteriorated. And so it makes it okay.
Yeah.
But then if you have a young person leave their physical body, the conversation looks much different.
Oh, yeah.
Why did God take them? They had so much life to live.
God needed another angel.
They had so much life left to live. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Right.
Or if somebody leaves their physical body and there's nothing visibly wrong with them and they're still very healthy and vitality is running through their bones, and it's hard for the human mind to make logical sense out of the concept of death or leaving the physical body. And that's evidenced by the conversations that take place.
There's so many different realms out there that are ways that people have thought about how they think about death, and it's all done by different cultures too.
Yeah, and the aging process too is entangled with rites of passage, wisdom.
Yes.
If you're as a society, we get tangled up in the mess of children have no intelligence value because they're young and haven't lived a life.
And they haven't been due.
And the elderly are so wise that we must listen to the elders because they've lived such a long life. But I know some pretty dumb old people. And I know some pretty smart
old people.
Young people.
Right.
And so all of that's just a bunch of hooey to me.
I agree. No, I totally agree.
It's a status thing. Age has become a status thing.
Yeah.
All the way down to respect your elders.
Yeah.
Because I'm old, you must now respect me.
There's a reason why the natives don't call it elders. They call them ancestors. But anyway.
And that's why?
Because they recognize the human leaving the body, but they don't recognize the spirit dying.
Oh, I see.
And so when they pray to their ancestors, they're praying, technically, the elders, whatever you want to call it, because, the tribe does have people they call elders that are supposed to help carry on the traditions.
Guide or whatever.
Guide through the process. But going back to what I was saying is the other cultures treat it much differently.
How so?
They'll have they have different rituals. They have different ways of burying their people. They have different thought processes on it. And the reason why I was saying that is because when you go into the thought of leaving the human body, what does a spirit does and what does it do? Because for years, and what I'm getting to is to a point, is we were taught that, when you're younger and your spirit goes to heaven or goes to hell. We were also taught all these other little things in science, and science is ever evolving. And we just watched a show yesterday that used to think that I think the pyramids or Stonehenge was the oldest existence of life.
Right. Yeah. Something like that.
And they discovered a whole nother civilization that dates back 1,500 years prior to that.
Right.
Like supposedly right before the Ice Age. And so everybody takes all this stuff they're taught, they take it as it's fact.
Right, yeah.
And they take it but the reality is that is ever evolving.
Yeah.
And that is what we're here to do. We're here to evolve. Do I believe that that's even the oldest civilization? Absolutely not. I'm not even sure I truly believe in the Ice Age that supposedly happened.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened is, I think that we were brought here from other planetary, not better, but extraterrestrial, I can't even say the word right now. ETs. Yeah. I think we were evolved from there. And I think that if we think that we are the only intelligent species in existence, then we would be completely naive. There are way too many. I mean, the galaxy is huge.
Right.
And if you were to look at it from different perspectives of where do we go? Do we go to the next planet next? Whatever it is, I don't really care. But science is ever evolving, and it's not always right.
Well, it's just not static.
Right.
You have to leave room for the growth of science as well, because we've not explored, even if you just stay on this planet in this reality, we have not even uncovered or unearthed but just a small percentage of the planet. So we don't know what's been buried up by the sands of the planet we live on, or the waters that we can't dive to yet.
Right.
And so to think that there were not some other civilizations that existed way before the 15,000 mark is also very naive.
Totally.
Just because we haven't gotten to a place where we can explore them doesn't mean that what science currently shows us is the end all be all.
Correct.
You got to leave that open because there's so much more that we've not explored. We have no idea.
We have no clue.
No clue.
I mean, every piece of land or whatever that we are in right now could have somebody below us, could have evidence of it. I mean, I was just watching another show where they just found a new dinosaur in Wyoming that they didn't have documented before.
Right, exactly.
And then beside that,
and then I was watching, I guess, I don't know, Ancient Alien, one of those where they found civilization.
Mm-hmm.
They dug it up. It was buried. Then they began to dig below that, and evidence showed them that there was a whole separate civilization, and their community was underneath that layer, separate and apart from the one they had found. So they essentially found two civilizations stacked on top of each other in the actual earth.
Right. My biggest question was it's on that show we were watching that found that 1,500 year earlier spot that was out in the middle of nowhere. There were no big mountains around it.
No, it was desert.
So how did that get covered in dirt? And how cool was it that
They're
guy
claiming that the inhabitants of the civilization covered it up on purpose.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part of it. But
that's what they're claiming.
I mean, it would make sense.
I mean, like anything
but that
else,
would be a lot of dirt.
As the winds blow and they carry the dirt, and you're talking about desert. There were no trees. There was nothing in that space. It would be very easy over 15,000 years for the dirt to blow over that.
That's a lot of years.
Cover it up.
But
really?
how long is that really?
What?
If there's not a calendar, how long is it really?
Well, now you're wanting to go down the rabbit hole.
Right.
I'll grab you by the hand and pull you in, but
it could have been just yesterday and we just jumped dimensions.
It certainly could have been.
Could
be a whole nother reality.
A lot of people can't perceive
they're still actively living in that place, and we just can't see them because we're not open and receptive to it.
Right. It's totally a rabbit
because
hole
the quantum theory and the multiverse community believes that there are realities going on simultaneously.
Oh, yeah.
So for every reality, there's an opposite reality going on, and every variation in between that. So anything that you can think of, the slightest little change in your current reality automatically creates a reality with that change in it. And so then those realities are parallel and they're flowing.
Yes.
And if you choose to jump over and ride that reality and align with that frequency, then you'll experience that. That's how the Mandela effect actually happens, is that you were in this reality and you chose to change realities. And there's a part of you that remembers being in the previous reality at the same time that you're in this reality. And that's how that all happens. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Rabbit hole.
The Bernstein Bears.
Hope your sandwich was good.
Bernstein or Bernstein?
Depends on who you talk to.
And how do the Simpsons know all the future events? This exposed another one where that in one of their episodes in the 90s, where that that CEO for that big major company got caught cheating on the kiss cam at the game. It was all over social media. I don't know if you saw it, but
no.
He was in with the director of HR of the company, and he's the CEO of the company, and they got caught on kiss cam in front of everybody, and that was predicted on The Simpsons as well.
Not very smart.
Nope. Especially the director of HR. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, so going back to where I'm at is, we're taught all this stuff scientifically and throughout the time growing up, and the beliefs were, in my mind, of being 52 and not being able to sustain that amount of intelligence to be able to learn what I'm learning now.
Right.
Clearing those beliefs out of the way, it was a tough one. The last couple of days I've been kind of dealing with it. And
really?
I have, yeah.
Interesting.
And what I discovered was, as I was taught this, is that there's a certain point. I remember in class getting taught this. There's a certain point that the brain quits growing. And I was taught that in school. And that you should learn while you're young and take advantage of it and blah, 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 blah. And, then, of course, you hear you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
And I was dealing with that the last couple of days. And then I realized,
you little pea brain.
I learned something every single day.
Absolutely.
And that is nonsense.
100% nonsense.
And so I've been working on clearing all that because I'm learning how to do this new process of for our. I don't want to make it a sales thing, but for our app and learning to do that. It's entailed.
Yeah. There's videos to watch and
there's.
It's not like you went to college for computer programming or anything like that.
We barely had computers when I was in high school.
Right.
I think
we had that little DOS with that little green cursor.
Yeah. And I did learn how to use that.
I remember in class, the teacher would say, okay, type this in some I don't even remember configuration of characters and then type in run and it made a heart.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Little fun things like that. And so that's how our computer life started. And if you think about the generations to follow, like our kids and their kids, they are all about computers. That's their norm.
Well, that's what one of our kids does. He's a coder.
And that's his norm. That's just normal.
Yeah.
It's like a whole
I was reading some of the coding yesterday.
Language.
And there's words like Ajax. What the heck's that mean?
Is it a cleaner?
It's some kind of a command prompt. I don't, maybe.
Because Ajax is a cleaner that you have under your sink that you can scrub like the shower.
It's one of the command prompts in coding.
I'd be curious to know what it means. Because does it mean it's a scrubber?
Maybe. Who knows? There was a whole bunch of stuff after it, but it was like C : / Ajax, a bunch of other stuff. And then you're like, how the heck does everybody remember? there's words for everything.
Yeah.
And I guess somehow that's all defined in coding. But
right.
If I'm sure our son knows what it means, and I'm going to ask him today because I'm curious. But because I was just looking at some of the stuff when I get on the video, and there's a lot there to remember.
Yeah, but you've got a beautiful memory, and you can run the video back and tap into that. So
I agree.
Give yourself credit.
No, I agree. I can. And that's kind of how I got over the hump yesterday and this morning. To kind of finish it up a little bit this morning. And I'm just done with that. I'm done with that thought process.
Yeah.
I'm never going to quit learning.
I'm never going to quit evolving. Down.
I'm never going to believe anything anybody teaches me unless I check it out for myself.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I feel like, that's one of the things we teach along the way in the podcast is we will explain our viewpoint and our opinion of a scenario or situation. We'll provide the tools that worked for us, but always we'll tell every single client or person that we interact with, go do your own homework.
Yes.
If it does not resonate with you, if it does not feel right, fit right, put that shit in the garbage and move on and try something else.
You got to be careful. You're going to get deemed as explicit content by cousin. Our podcast distribution center, our last podcast that Jenny posted this morning, flagged it as explicit content because we were both cussing.
We were feeling a little salty that day. Yeah, that's what we teach is don't take what we even say as the guidebook for life.
No.
Like what we teach is Go figure out what your process looks like. But
Use ours and
make,
see if it works for you.
Right. Test it out. And if it works, wonderful, great. If it doesn't, put it in the garbage and try something else.
Try something else.
And the other part of that is if it works for 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, a week, a month, and then it doesn't work anymore, give yourself permission to toss it out at that point
do something
and
different.
try something different. Because
everybody can learn.
Of course. Everybody can learn to do any of the things that we talk about doing as far as spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
Anybody can learn
we have a lot of people following us that are in their 70s and 80s.
Abilities. Like any one person can learn any aspect of any of this.
Yeah.
Don't box yourself into thinking that you can't.
Right.
Give yourself the space to know that if you are breathing and your heart is beating and you have a brain, you can learn it.
Right. Totally agree. I don't know how many times I heard in our previous job that getting old sucks. Well, old is a perception.
If you want to believe that, then
you want to jump down another little theory that kind of popped in my head yesterday.
Always, me, I live in the rabbit hole.
We live in a universe, planetary universe is what science teaches us, right?
Yeah, you actually you run a universe and live in a universe.
Right. And we rotate around the sun.
Okay.
And the sun has other planets that rotate around it as well. And what if we are just an atom in somebody else's body?
Of course.
Because the sun could be the nucleus of the atom.
Yeah.
And we could be, think about that perception.
Yeah, what if we're the tick on the back of the dog's body?
Yeah.
Thinking that we're living on some planet.
Yeah.
And it's really just a dog.
And we're really just a tick on the dog's butt.
Or a cat. Or...
Isn't that crazy?
A flower.
Think about that perception for a moment.
Or like on Men in Black, we live in a locker.
I mean, if you think about it, the universe and an atom look a whole lot alike.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
And that is what science has taught us, is what the atom looks like. So, if it's not exactly like the universe, it doesn't mean it's correct. It means we could be living as a cell in somebody else's body.
Absolutely.
Crazy, isn't it? It's a
beautiful.
deep thought.
It's the fun places I like to be.
It's one of those things I was like, am I smart enough to even think about this?
It's a Twizzler moment. Am I smart enough to think about that? Those are the kind of things I sit around and think about.
And yeah, that was
as a pastime.
That was a comment. That was a thought I had last night, right before I went to bed, actually.
Wow.
Right before I went to sleep.
I'm surprised you didn't have a dream off of it or something.
I didn't. I had no dreams last night. It was kind of a quiet night for me. I slept good, though, and I slept like a rock. Except when I woke up and it was raining. And I was like, yep, go back to sleep.
Okay.
Because I like to sit outside and drink my coffee. And it was raining.
Mm. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I just went back to sleep. But going back to where the conversation is.
Are you complete?
I am complete.
Okay.
I'm always complete. You mean for the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, are you complete for the podcast?
I mean, you stalled out a little bit, so
I did stall a little bit, actually.
You were like in your own little...
I was in my own little world.
Of living on the ass of a dog.
I was.
As an atom.
I mean, we could be anything. We could be a tire on a truck. We could be... Because everything is made up of... Matter.
Energy.
And
Absolutely.
here we are.
Yeah.
We could be just spinning around the nucleus of somebody's digestive system.
Getting ready to be a big pile of
poop. Bleep. Yeah. Who knows?
You don't. You have no.
It's kind of comical if you think about it.
It is.
Like I could be a ball that a clown's throwing in the air. I could be that snot that comes flying out of an emu's mouth when they spit at you.
Gross.
It's the truth.
You could be.
You just never know. It's kind of funny at times, but that's where my mind's been the last is understanding the perception of of.
So if we take it a little bit deeper, here's the deeper. Now that you've had that thought that it's a possibility, that reality now actually exists in the multiverse. And if you chose to find the frequency of it, you could line up with that reality, and that could become your actual reality that you live and breathe in with the awareness that you're in that reality.
Here's another thought.
If you chose to.
No, totally 100%. It's been a kind of a crazy thought for me, because here's another part.
You want to live on the ass of a dog?
For years. No, listen. Here, you ready to hear this out? I've always thought for a moment, I've had that thought in the back of my head, during this time I've had this thought of, but do we only exist on living things? Yeah, right. I know you're looking at me crazy, because that trailer right over there is not a living thing according to our science. But in reality, it is living.
Absolutely.
Because it's made up of the same things that we're made of.
Absolutely. That's quantum at its most finest.
And
because energy is made up of molecules and atoms, and they have their own consciousness.
Yeah.
So the rabbit hole reality is that the chair that you sit on has a level of consciousness in and of itself.
Well, and we are made of the same stuff that this chair is made of.
Absolutely.
Am I wrong in that, in the scientific teachings?
Well, in the science world, they're not there yet. In the metaphysical world, that's the kind of crap that we metaphysicians play around with and toy with all the time.
So here's food for thought in that world.
Food for thought. Bring your
so you have a
sandwich.
A living tree that's growing and blossoming.
Okay.
That is a living entity.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you cut a branch off that tree and you make a chair out of it.
Yeah.
Is that branch still alive? Is that chair alive? Deep thought too. Is it? Because
are you asking me?
No, I'm not. I'm just
rhetorically putting
it out there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. One of the thoughts of, you have a tree. You have dirt. You shovel dirt. You put that dirt somewhere that creates a foundation for a house.
Yeah.
Where does that dirt belong? Back in that hole or into the foundation of that house? You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, and that's where my head has been going to is not believing what we've been taught and actually proving it for ourselves. Because I truly had that conscious thought of, man, I don't know if I can learn this. And then of course my ego was like, F that.
Yeah, your ego sometimes is off the chain.
Well, you hear me. You hear me sometimes talking to myself.
I do hear you a lot of times. I just ignore it. And it's not because you're talking with your mouth. It's because telepathically I can hear you having the conversations.
Like, I could be the same thing as that trailer sitting right there.
In some reality, in the multiverse, you are that trailer sitting there. How does it feel?
What a boring life. Just sitting there doing nothing.
What a peaceful life.
Well, maybe because I humanly, I don't like to sit still. I do a lot of stuff. So,
but just think about it. Like, there is no monkey mind. There's nothing that trailer has to do but just sit there and be.
And hold on to his buddies.
And just exist in its beauty and in its existence.
And so here's another thing, another food for thought I had when we were walking through the flea market last weekend.
Okay.
Because I've been kind of dealing with this thought process for a minute.
The perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
3D printing.
Okay.
Are they really making living creatures in another dimension?
Absolutely.
So when they print up one of those fancy lizards,
that's all you
out
are.
of matter. That's made out of matter.
Of course.
And so that's kind of crazy. Like that, those 3D printers are creating life.
Absolutely. Let me go one better. Guess what science is doing with 3D printing?
I've seen them making organs.
They're actually printing organs like livers and hearts.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's cool though.
So, how do you know you're not just a 3D print that I created for my experience of having you to play with?
Or maybe everything is 3D printed by the ETs.
Or a bigger consciousness than that.
Or a bigger consciousness. I know it's crazy, isn't it? It can go crazy directions. But the point of the matter is you're never too old because age is a taught societal belief.
Absolutely.
And guess what? All those holidays on the calendar, those are created to sell things, just so you know. Like today is National Read a Book Day.
Yeah, don't forget.
Who do you think invented that? I looked it up. Barnes and Nobles.
Absolutely.
Barnes and Noble put it out there.
But while we're here, you can get my book, Scripted from Within.
And mine.
On Amazon and on KDP.
Yep, on Kindle.
It is there, ready for the taking.
Yep,
it's
mine's on there too.
Quick little read about beliefs and how to go about identifying them and working with them.
That is actually a book you could read in one day.
It is, on purpose. I wanted it to be a gentle, easy read so that people could get it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I did make the format a little small for the letters, so it probably should have been a little longer.
No, I think you did. I think it ended up exactly the way it was supposed to.
I agree.
That's what I believe.
I still think it's crazy that in the manuscript on the computer it shows page numbers, but by golly, you look at it on the author's side and they're not on there.
Well, we also ordered the author's.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Author's copies could be
different. And so maybe we didn't pay enough to get the page numbers printed.
Maybe. I don't know. That's funny. But anyway, so that's where my perception has been, and my thoughts have been the last day or two. Or actually, I've been thinking about that for probably a week or two. You know, because I had that thought at.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of go back and forth and retouch it every time you have to learn something that you, from your perspective, you perceive for yourself is challenging or a learning curve, as I do air quote. Your perspective is you kind of have to walk yourself through that.
I do.
Because you did the same thing when we started the podcast.
And the website.
Over a year ago.
Yeah.
And then when you went in and decided you were going to put the website together, you kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I think anytime it is something that you find challenging to learn, you kind of bump up against that place again.
Yes, I agree. I concur. But anyway, that's where my thought was. And I'm here to tell you all, first of all, age is just a belief that you've been taught by society.
Yeah.
So look at that. You can be anything you want to be, even a trailer. If you want to be a trailer.
Right.
And food for thought while you're sitting there drinking your coffee in the morning. I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself being the atom of something else that's existing.
Yeah, that's how manifestation
Not even being the atom. You're actually a piece, itty bitty tiny piece of the atom.
Absolutely. Well, that's what one of the theorists back in the day did, essentially. And I don't remember his name. I apologize, you guys. Huh. He took and cut up a plant and cut it again and cut it again and cut it again to get down to the smallest piece that he possibly could to see if it still was going to be a plant leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was the first one that introduced society to the atom.
Yeah.
And I think his name is some version of the word atom, and that's how it became called the atom, because I think his name
isn't that
was
how the atom bomb came around too, as they split the nucleus of an atom?
I think his name was autonomous or something like that.
Oh. Anyway. All right. Well, I'm complete. Are you complete?
Always.
Well, guys, hey, don't forget to like, follow, and share. Check out the website, www.themerchcenters.org. Our store is open if you'd like to check that out. It's https thesaltytarot.myshopify.com. And though there will be a link you can click on at the bottom of the spiritual grind.
Does that mean I have to put it there?
Yeah, I'll teach you how.
Okay, because I don't know how to do that yet. I'm now the editor of our podcast.
Yeah, our editor retired.
And so,
she won the lottery and flew to France. Anyway.
She's probably listening in saying, no, I didn't. Not this me.
Hey, guys, don't forget to like, follow, share. Tell your friends to check us out. You can share. Hit that share button. It'll pop up your social media, and all you got to do is hit share and load it in your social media and let your friends click on it.
And ring the bell.
Hey, y'all have an awesome day.
Love ya.